Cheers! Sneaking that one in on me.
Yeah.
Skål!
Welcome to Movie Bitches! Episode 223. Tonight we're reviewing Midsommar. Did you see that people got very upset about people mispronouncing it?
No, I did not see that.
Someone was just like, if I hear one more person, and then I tweeted that someone else talked about Moira Rose saying it. Midsommar, and I was just like, I want to know how she would do it.
It would be so good.
Like, I can't even imagine, but I know it would be amazing.
Great progress for Bebe.
Alexis, it's Midsommar.
Midsommar.
Yeah.
I don't know. We
Where
kind of
is
turned
Bebe's chambers?
We
You know,
kind
it's
of
like
turned
Midsommar.
We turned into a little more Jennifer Coolidge.
Yes, a little bit. A little, yeah.
Kind of veered into the Coolidge.
Makes me want a hot dog real bad. Midsommar.
Midsommar.
First things first, shout out to our wine sponsor, Wink. Trywink.com/moviebitches. You get $22 off your first month of fancy tea that makes you hallucinate.
What?
Just kidding. They just sell wine.
It comes in a package, clearly marked, not from strangers.
Sealed. So, Midsommar, the new movie from Ari
Aster?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that might be it.
I think that's it.
I think you nailed it.
It's Ari Aster.
Great. The director of Hereditary, which we reviewed. I did not like this as much as Hereditary.
Well, that's saying something because you did not enjoy Hereditary.
It's true. Yeah, I guess these aren't for me. They're a little too serious, not campy enough.
I didn't enjoy watching this movie.
No.
I enjoyed watching Hereditary.
Sure.
I thought it
Toni
was...
Collette.
And Toni Collette. And Gabriel Byrne. I'm a sucker for Gabriel Byrne. And I just thought it had a more rise and a fall, and there was just more sort of interesting things going on. And of course, it was the first of the movies. Like, we didn't know how far he was going to take it,
sure.
right?
Yes.
And in this one, it was a lot of parallels of like, well, I already saw a bunch of like older people naked.
Right.
So it's like, well, that's less shocking.
I guess this time at least it was young people naked.
It was old and young.
Who was old in this one that was naked?
All the ladies, all the grandmas,
that's right.
all the queens.
Oh, yes, that's right. I'm sorry.
The village.
I'm sorry.
So there was things that was like, well, that was less shocking the second time around.
Sure.
Also, it's too long.
It's just too long.
I am so here for a slow burn, creepy, what's really going on here? But if you max out on that and you can reach a point where I just turn off.
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, I don't... It's too much tenseness.
Well, I would say, like, for me, that's what I thought Ma did really well. Where it was a slow burn, where you're kind of just like, well, where is this going?
Lay
she
in the
doesn't seem
groundwork.
that crazy. Like, maybe this isn't a horror movie. And then it's like, oh, she went crazy. You know?
Right.
And this never went to 1,000. It just kind of petered out at 65.
I agree with you. I think that's a crazy statement in the fact that some things that happen in this movie, that you're saying that some of the things that happen in this movie are 65 is like bananas.
I guess that's fair.
But the way it was presented, it's all slow and bright, and the music is haunting, and the cinematography is haunting, and I was like in it. For the first hour and a half, I was like, I'm eating this up. Look at those flower crowns. Yes. Look at all this white cotton linen. Yes. Yes, I want that robe. You know, ooh, look at this architecture. Yes. You know, I was like, this is weird. What's going on? And then I just got exhausted by it.
A little bit.
At a certain point, I was like, well, I don't like anyone, so I don't care.
Yeah, I'm like, that's cool. It's inconsequential to me.
Well, anyway, so.
Yep.
Midsommar. Yeah. Midsommar. How would she say it? Ugh.
I don't know.
I know she's like probably not on Twitter. So
no, she's not. I was going to tag her because I tweeted it at A24 and it's Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
And Catherine O'Hara is not on Twitter, and I was like, come on. I feel like we need to make this happen. Like, really, I want to know.
I want the answer.
Also, I said A24 should absolutely produce The Crows Have Eyes.
Oh, The Crowing?
The crowing has begun.
Oh my god, like I want it so bad. How great would that be?
It'd be amazing.
Yes.
Well, they do have fun. A24 posted this sort of like fun fake video of
It's a bear. 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 It's a bear in a cave.
There was like a little song and it was like a fake toy commercial and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
They get it. But I wish the movie had been a little more playful. Or something.
Or something.
I mean, I was laughing fairly consistently throughout.
Yes, in an actually intentional way.
I think so.
I think so too.
There was a lot of comedy beats in this movie, which is shocking to me.
A little bit. I just really expected it to do more for me.
The pacing never picked up. With a slow burn, usually it's like, it burns until it explodes, and then it's like, or whatever, so you kind of get the adrenaline payoff of it all. But this, even when crazy fucking shit was happening, it was slow and deliberate, and I get that as a choice, but for me, I was exhausted.
Exactly. It works for a while, and then I started to go crazy. And then I was like, well, maybe that's what he wants.
Well, it's definitely an experience.
Yes.
You know, I would say if you liked Hereditary, if you like horror movies, if you're into, like, cinematography, all that above, you'll probably, like, find something to enjoy out of this movie.
I didn't hate this movie at all. It wasn't enjoyable.
It wasn't enjoyable. I would never rewatch this.
Never.
You know, I might throw Hereditary on.
I mean, maybe.
I might.
It's whack-a-dack. And I feel like you would probably learn a lot more.
Yeah.
And that might be the case with this.
Somewhat.
Like, there's certain questions and things where, like, when I started to think back, I was like, oh, interesting. But then there's other stuff where I'm just like, well, that doesn't make any sense at all.
I don't know. It seemed pretty straightforward to me. There was no mystery to uncover, really.
Well, the mystery for me is, like, how old were her parents? I want to know if they were 72. Like, was her family related to it at all? Or, like...
I don't think so. Maybe cosmically, but I don't think literally.
So it was literally just like, oh, she was in a rough spot. Her bipolar sister murder-suicided her family.
It starts and it's just misery porn.
It's like, oh.
It's just like, they're in a bad relationship.
You've been wanting out of this stupid relationship for like a year now.
They hate each other, but they like each other, and they're both assholes.
Yep.
And then she sort of slowly discovers that her sister has asphyxiated herself and her parents in a really elaborate plan. You would think they would have woken up in bed, but she like takes all these hoses through the house and duct tapes them on all the doors and all of this, and then duct tapes a tube right into her mouth. And while all of that is like grotesque and horrifying and like effective, I was just like, must have taken a really long time. Like maybe that's my weird brain where I'm just like,
that was why.
How much time and energy and noise did this take?
It was presented that way though too, and so to me, like I had the same thoughts. I was like, wow, this was really elaborate. And so then I was like, well, what is this all trying to tell me?
Sure.
What is this a part of? Was she assisting them in their 72-year death? I don't know.
But I kind of would have liked that.
Because then later on we see it. I mean, spoiler alert, we're getting ahead. Well, so spoiler alert, we're going to talk about
We're going to spoil everything.
Yes.
You could go see it. I think it is a movie, it's like a theater-going experience.
Sure.
I think you will enjoy it more in the theater.
Yeah.
Because of the sound and you really get lost in it.
Yes.
And you feel like
you don't want to be like scrolling through Facebook while you're watching this on Netflix. Like it's not that kind of movie.
Not at all. So you could go watch it and come back if you're worried about it.
Because later on, when the elder people jump off the cliff,
right,
it seemingly was like his child or whatever bashed him over the head.
Or grandchildren. I mean, they're all...
I guess they're all kind of descendants, although the bloodlines are...
Apparently. So... wanted to get into that more, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Wanted to know more about Quasimodo Finger Painter. I wanted to get into it.
I guess, here's the thing. I guess that really touches on my biggest frustration with his movies.
Okay.
I'm always left being like, well, what's the, like, there's so many questions of like, but what was that? And what does that have to do with anything, bitch?
What does that have to do with anything, bitch?
Where it's just like, well, but what did that have to do with anything?
I'm sure he would have an explanation.
Of course. But tell me in the movie, because there was enough time to fucking do it. You know what I mean?
I just wish it had gotten even weirder.
Yeah. Like, I wanted to know more about Payman. Like, how is this working? What's happening?
Payman's Hereditary.
No, that's what I'm saying. In both movies.
Sure. Yeah.
In both movies, I'm like...
In both movies, it does seem like the story, like the sequel could begin right where it left off.
Yes.
You know, and then continue on, and maybe that's an even more interesting story.
Yes.
Like, and I've been possessed by Payman, and we flash back to my family being, you know, killing themselves and having a horrible time and blah, 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 and what am I doing with this possession is almost a more interesting movie. Same thing with Midsommar. It's like, oh, it's a cult. Okay, yeah, it's a cult. I'm like, oh, it's a cult? Great. And then her realizing, wait, this is my family now.
This is my cult.
I'm going to be part of this family that is this cult, and I don't care if it's, like, crazy and they're killing people and et cetera, et cetera. That's more interesting, almost.
It's like, at the end, when you think about it all, it's, like, kind of fucked. Like, the fact that she decides that he should die.
The entire movie is fucked.
Well, sure.
I really like this idea that he tried to make a horror movie that is 99% in the daylight.
Yes.
Right? That's really interesting.
Yes.
And how do you make that scary, and is that scary in a different way? And I think for me it was psychologically upsetting because I don't like the sun. It was making me like, I just want to take a nap. It's sunny all the time. There's too much light. Everything's white. I thought the white balancing would have been a nightmare on this movie.
My God, probably.
Nightmare. Everyone's either wearing white or gray and black. To just be like, oh God.
I mean, I guess it'd be easy. You could just white balance on literally anyone.
Sure. But it was just like so stark and
Yes.
contrasty, and the way that it was shot was like making me physically be like, oh my God, I just want to like put on some sunglasses. You know what I mean? And so
Sure.
that's interesting in a different way. I don't think he was 100% successful in making like a horror movie during the daytime.
Right.
For me. I don't really think these movies are scary.
No, not for me.
They're upsetting.
Yes.
And they're psychologically powerful
Sure.
and potent.
Yes.
But I was never like, oh no.
No,
really in either of them.
No, definitely not for
Hereditary
me in
either.
Hereditary.
Yeah.
And it was weird because people were like, what? I was so scared. I'm like, I just don't get it. I was never scared in that movie.
I think the idea in Hereditary of something genetically passed down that you can't control and could possibly kill you or the ones you love is a scary idea.
Sure.
But I was a little scared towards the end when it was just like dark and there was like weird naked people. Like
That's fair.
there were moments when I was like, ooh, that was creepy.
Yeah.
And this one I was just like, it's cult.
Yep.
It's cult, leave.
Yep.
Leave right now. You shouldn't have come in the first place.
And exactly. And
Leave.
that was.
Oh my God, get out of there. Run.
Yes, get out. Get out. But then, of course, she didn't.
Like I said, it doesn't help that I didn't like anybody.
No.
The main couple, they don't really like each other and are kind of not great
He's
people.
supposedly been wanting to break up with her for a year.
But you'd think that would be the arc of she like...
They come
I
together.
mean, well, I would hate that too. But like the arc, I guess, is like she empowered herself, but to what? To join the cult and the family and then murder him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then his friends are lame.
Yep.
Like
I mean,
one
his
of them...
first, one's like literally the most obnoxious, and like 5 minutes into the movie, I said to Avaryl, I hope he dies first.
Well, it's Will Poulter from Son of Rambo. He's like in stuff. He's that guy with the eyebrows.
Cool.
And then there's Chidi from Good Place.
Yeah.
His name is escaping me at the moment. It's like 3 names.
But he was pretty annoying in this too.
Well, I wasn't annoyed by him, but I just didn't really get his character.
Well, he was pretty empty.
Yeah.
And then later on, he was still kind of empty, even
I
they
thought,
were fighting.
ooh, is he and her gonna team up? Because he's like, oh shit's going down. It's
Yeah.
crazier than I thought. I thought this was just myths. I didn't think they were actually doing this shit, but I know all about it and I can read their language
Sure.
because I'm this
Studying
archaeologist
this.
historian and I'm like studying their culture and oh, I can get us out of here because I know that the secret blah 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 whatever.
It's not that kind of movie.
It's so not, but I was at least hoping he would have some kind of
Sure.
arc or something.
Well, wouldn't that have been a fun kind of twist on it too, where like you think it's that kind of movie, right?
Right.
If he starts to do that, and then he gets brutally murdered,
just murdered.
and you're just like, well, that's.
Yeah.
And she's just like, yeah, I'm joining this cult. Fuck it. I got nothing else going on.
Literally though.
She have a job?
She was a student. Remember, they were like, oh, finals are coming up.
Oh, right.
I do think that this director has a really canny ability of capturing how awkward parties are.
Yes.
I think he should just make movies about awkward parties. Like, I'd love to see, like, I Can't Hardly Wait by Ari Aster. Oh my God. It would be really weird, and I would kind of love it. There's a lot of, like, passive-aggressive, awkward...
Yeah.
And that was, for me, the most successful dialogue
Yes.
in the movie. You know, when he's like, oh, I invited her to come to Sweden with us. And they all hate her. They're like, oh, what? Why would you do that? But she's not going to come. I just invited her.
Right. And
even
she
though
said yes.
she definitely accepted it.
That was the
She's
movie
not
line.
going to come. But, you know, if she does, and they're just both like, what the fuck, dude? That was good. Like, the dynamic of that group started interesting.
Yes.
Even though I didn't like any of them, I thought I would by the end.
Yeah.
And then they didn't really grow or change or anything or become more interesting. And so
Sure.
I was like, oh, I guess they all died. Okay. I wasn't really invested.
No, not really.
Which was a problem.
Well, yeah, and then it was interesting too, like the other couple that his brother brings.
Right, would have liked to have known more about them.
Well, and it was confusing to me as to why he brought them, other than just to sacrifice them.
I think that's
How did he pick them though?
It's just like, you work on a farm. You want to come to my commune farm?
Sure.
Oh, so you grew up on a commune? It's not a cult. It's definitely not a cult.
I was
Cult.
like,
it's a cult!
Red flag. Don't go.
Run away!
I will say, I don't know how this is gonna do for Scandinavian tourism. I hope it doesn't hurt it.
So it really hurt the glamping industry.
Right?
In Sweden.
Oh my god. I will say this was very different than my Swedish Midsommar.
Oh, really?
Yes. Shocker. Because I'm still here and I haven't murdered anyone.
You didn't drink the tea.
I did not drink the tea. I did drink a lot of alcohol.
Sure.
And I did go to a tiny island where I had nowhere to sleep. And I slept on a bench for the ferry port because... So, it's a long story. So there's this island called Uto. Swedish public transportation, obviously great. So we took a train,
Flawless.
got off the train, 5 minutes later there was a bus, took us to the ferry, 10 minutes later we got on the ferry. You know, it was like that kind of thing. We took the ferry in, but the next ferry back that we could take, we had to wait till like 7 in the morning.
Got it.
So we're like, well, let's just fucking do it. All of the places to stay on the island, fully booked.
So you thought, maybe I'll get lucky, or I'll sleep on the bench.
There you go, exactly. We'll either make friends, or we'll bring these blankets. Went to the nightclub till like 4 in the morning, never got dark.
I know, it's so weird, isn't it
It's
weird?
like that twilighty, like,
That dusk.
Yeah, got some pictures with like the Swedish flag behind me. It's
Love
like,
it.
yes, Midsommar. Met some new friends.
They didn't have beds for you, though.
No, but we rode a bike together or something, and they were blonde, of course. They were Swedish girls.
It sounds like you don't remember this portion of the evening.
Well, you know, it's a little fuzzy. And then, yeah, fell asleep on a bench and was freezing cold.
Oh,
but I made it through.
You didn't bring the blankets?
No, we did, but it wasn't enough.
It wasn't.
Turns out, even though it's summer,
Midsummer, yeah.
it still gets cold.
Yeah. I remember reveling in having an open container on the street in Denmark and just being like, this is...
Yeah.
Like, it was just very liberating and weird.
Yeah. Also,
it's great, is what
Stockholm
I would say.
is fabulous. Go to Sweden. It's great.
Yeah.
They won't all murder you.
No, it'll be great. So I did think this movie did a great job of making you feel like you were on a bad trip.
Yeah.
Essentially, the whole movie feels like a bad trip. Really from the beginning. Even before they take
kinda true.
the mushrooms. Like,
That's
the whole
true.
thing is just a nightmare escape. And it just won't end.
Yeah.
You're like a bad trip and you're just like, I just gotta make it through.
Just let it be over. Just let it, yep.
Keep on keeping on, it'll be okay. It felt like that. So they get to Sweden, they drive out in the middle of nowhere, they get to a field.
Yep.
Hey, here's some mushrooms. I was like, you know, I'm good.
Right. I'd like to get my stuff packed away.
Jet lag, you know,
Yeah.
maybe just like ease on it.
I
mean,
liked her. She was
tried
like,
to.
she said, she's like, I just want to get my footing. And then they're like, oh, we're going to be on a different trip. I don't have to trip with you.
That's
it's fine.
Yeah.
That's
Also,
what I
I'm
was
going
thinking.
through some emotional stuff right now. Maybe taking psychedelic drugs is a bad idea.
I will say, they've done a lot of research.
It could be.
Yes,
In the
it-
middle
it
of
certainly
nowhere
could be.
in a foreign country where it turns out it's cold.
Definitely that. Very that. I think more so with MDMA. But they use MDMA as help for treatment for PTSD.
Love it.
Because it helps people open up. They also used to use it for marital
But
therapy.
I'm sure it's also like low dose.
Well,
I
and
drink
then I'm
this-
like, how much is this tea that you're giving me?
Yeah, like, oh, how much, what's the percentage? Because I'm
Exactly.
really sensitive and I might get too high.
Yeah.
Oh, it turns out I got too high. Oh no,
Right,
you know.
right. John Waters can say, you know, fuck all you and your microdosing all he wants, but like, I'm just gonna point out that dosage matters.
They're all high in a field for days? A day?
I think it was just, well,
Unclear.
I
Remember,
guess
he's
it's-
like, she's like, how long have I been asleep? And he's like, well, we found you here 6 hours ago. And I'm like, so you just watched her sleep
Right.
for 6 hours? There was a lot of like,
they're just hanging out.
oh, just let her sleep. I mean, I guess she's depressed, but anyway. All of this I thought was really funny. They're interacting, they're too high, you know.
I mean, the obnoxious guys just
No,
like,
no. Should we lay down?
Yeah.
Let's lay down. Everyone
Can
lay
you-
down with
can
me.
you lay down,
Can you
please?
lay down? Oh my god, this feels so good. Like he's freaking out, and then that elder walks by. Fuck, it's a new person. Like all of this was spot on for me, and just a little creepy, you know,
Yeah.
because it's like, oh no, what's happening? And I thought they did a really good job of representing like being high. And
Yeah, and also it made it seem not as crazy to me, where it's like, oh, that definitely seems like a thing that people would do, where it's like, let's go to the Swedish countryside
Yeah.
and take mushrooms on Midsummer, and we'll just revel in the sunlight all day long, and have a trip in the...
What time is it?
in the-
9 p.m.
What?
What time is it?
9:30.
That can't be right. The sky is blue.
This is what 9 p.m. is like here.
It's still light out!
That was the first red flag.
But also, that's what I'm saying, not a red flag. I kept thinking to myself,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
oh,
yeah.
you know, oh yeah, sure. I could see someone being like, yeah, let's take some Molly and dance around this goddamn maypole for 4 hours. That sounds great. But also, they're gonna murder you.
Right.
Now, if she hadn't become the May Queen, or whatever they called it,
Would she have been a sacrifice? Probably.
Cool.
Probably. So they get to the village, and I mean, all of the extras are doing a lot of business.
Oh my God.
Just
Oh yeah.
yes, and staring at each other and walking strangely, and just like everything. And then there's a cow, and there's a bear in a cage. Or we not? I love things like we just started talking about the bear.
It's a bear. It's a bear. It's a bear. It's a bear in a cage.
The official Midsommar Bear in a Cage.
There was
It's a
so
bear.
many like obvious comedic beats in this and really funny stuff in this, and I was actually genuinely really into the first half of this movie.
Yes.
And then it just sort of devolved, and I got over it.
Yeah, I just wanted it to have done more, to tell me more, to weave more of a tale of like, ooh, and then they do this because of this. Teach me the ritual so that I'm like, oh, that's so crazy fucked. Like, oh my God, no, don't do it. Don't, you know, like, exactly, we kind of needed him to have discovered, like, to have read, I mean, they were just finger paintings, so I don't know what he would have been reading. If there had been a little bit of that kind of thing, or like, why did no one see the, like, oh, and then she puts her vaginal blood into...
Her menstrual blood.
Her menstrual blood into his cup,
I mean,
so that he falls in love with her, yeah.
Well, I love, so we see this, you know, hand-drawn paneling of, like, this banner, and it's like, she loves him, but he doesn't love her, and now she's gonna try and make him love her. Picture of a vagina, like, you know, hand-drawn, like, kid-like picture of a vagina. Oh, squatting into a cup and putting your blood in, and now we're married, great. I love the idea that, you know, they kind of just laid that seed, and then he's at the table, and his drink is darker than everyone else's. And you can put it together, but he never discovers it.
Right.
We never see her doing it. Like, I actually would have, I don't know, because the mystery wasn't, oh, what? It was a cult?
Right.
Like, that wasn't the mystery for me. From the trailer, you're like, oh, it's a cult.
No, you're just like, what are they gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
Why are they doing this?
Having maybe the characters not know, but us know would have been helpful. You know, we don't see any of the deaths, except for the suicides.
Right.
But, like, all of the people we're supposed to care about, all of the outsiders that have come in, they just disappear.
Yeah.
And that's fun or interesting for one character. You know, oh, where did Simon go? That's weird. But then I wanted to keep seeing, like, well, how did they kill her and why? And
we literally never know anything that happens with her.
We never know, and it was a bummer.
Yeah.
It seemed like they drowned her in the lake or something, but
maybe.
I don't know.
I wanted to see weird, obnoxious dude get his comeuppance. Right? Oh, I'm going to follow her to go fuck, and then we just...
Eyebrows, she's like, come with me, I'm going to show you. And then he's
also,
like...
no, that's a no.
Don't go with her, it's a cult. But then I love that he's just like, oh, I'm going to go because...
She's going to show me.
She's going to show me. And they're like, that's so fun and funny and weird.
And that's what I was confused about too, where it was like, because the fiance girl that gets left behind.
Yeah.
Or left behind.
When she was like, where's Simon? I was like, he's dead.
Yep. Yep.
What could have happened to him? He wouldn't have left without, he's dead.
He's dead.
Bitch,
you should
run.
Get yeah, exactly. Run to their rental car. I was like, oh, don't leave that rental car that far away.
No.
You gotta fucking drive that shit up. I want the keys in like my vagina or something. Like you come and get it out of me.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, but it was weird because he had the brother had that whole thing of like, oh well, I dated her, and she's like, we went on one date, and then I was like,
that was so weird and cool, and I thought it was going somewhere. I was like, oh, that's why he's gonna kill Simon.
Exactly.
And he's gonna like entrap her to be his wife here.
Exactly. Be like, oh, now you have to be part of it. I mean, this sounds awful, but I was like, well, there's clearly no way that Chidi or any of those two were gonna be picked because
part of the line because they were also white.
Yeah.
Essentially, yes.
I was like, I doubt that this creepy cult is gonna mix.
It just didn't seem likely.
But so then it was like, why did they bring them there other than just to be sacrifices?
I think to be sacrifices.
And but like, couldn't you have found someone else? I guess they don't necessarily need other people to mate with.
I think they need a little bit of both. They were
Maybe
trying
it's
to
just happy
happenstance, not sure. And there was at this point when they all came up and all the extras were, you know, staring into each other's eyes and, oh, hello, I'm Elder so-and-so. I was like, oh God, whose dick are we gonna see? Oh no, oh no. We're gonna see this old man's dick. Yep. Oh no, but we didn't.
No.
I mean, we did see some dicks, but
we did. Young dicks, elder vaginas.
Dicks, yeah. Now that's the name of a punk band.
Elder vaginas.
Young dicks, elder vaginas.
I love it.
How long have you two been together?
Just over 3.5 years.
4 years.
Really?
Yeah.
They're like debating, well, how long have we been dating? Oh, like 3.5 years.
4 years and 2 weeks.
4 years and 2 weeks. And then this woman in the theater just goes, oh. Their relationship was so terrible, you couldn't really be rooting for them by the end.
Well, you didn't want them to stay together.
You didn't want them to stay together. Therefore, in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, one of them at least has to die.
Right.
But then I'm also like, but I don't really care about either of them, so
No.
it doesn't matter who makes it or not. Also, I think never go to a weird ceremony on a big anniversary. I think that's just a good... Remember, it was like the 90th anniversary?
Sure. Well,
You know there's going to be like more murdering.
I mean, if it's not a murderous event, then I think that could be
How
very
would you
special.
know? They're not advertising.
Well, right. Like the bicentennial of, 4th of July, hopefully there's not a lot of murder, it's just more fireworks.
No, that's why I said if it's like some sort of... If it seems 10% sketchy and it's a big
Fair.
anniversary, nope.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, this only happens every 90 years.
Is there Wi-Fi? No.
Out.
I'm out. Oh, I have a question.
Yeah.
Where did he get that piece of cake? So it's her birthday when they get there, which I thought was also going to be a thing.
Sure.
Oh, you say you're 36 now. That means
Oh.
you're in the winter stages of whatever. They explain that like each season...
Every 18 years
Every 18
represents
years.
a season in a person's life. 36 to 50, whatever.
Yeah. Fall. Working years.
And I was like, that's kind of old. Because it was like, oh, they work in the fields and shit.
Yeah.
It was like, what, 50, shouldn't you have like the 18 to 36-year-olds be working in the fields?
It's the seasons. They have to obey the Quasimodo finger painter
Oh my
who
God.
lives on a cloud. And
Can we talk about that?
this was, I think, the creepiest part of the whole movie, I guess. Not the person, but when Chidi from Good Place is like interviewing them and he's like, oh, they've established, they're like, so what's the deal with incest here? Because,
Yeah.
And they're like, well, sometimes cousin marry, but we keep the bloodlines
Yeah,
pure, or whatever it was.
separated.
And then he's talking to the elder about the sort of disformed person, and they're like, oh, he's basically our shaman or our...
Right, all of our oracles are
oracle.
deliberately inbred.
Well, yeah, he goes, they're all deliberately inbred, so they'll be,
Pure,
of
unclouded vision.
unclouded vision of, oh boy, and it was like, oh no. That was the freakiest part of the movie.
Yeah.
Because it was just so upsetting.
Sure.
It's like, oh
Yeah.
no.
So that was the visual that I'd seen a picture
That
of.
face?
The face. And I thought that was something that they like did to her.
Oh.
Where they like inflate,
that would have
whatever.
been good. It's
And I
like
was
the end of Freaks, and it's just like, now you're the chicken lady.
How she got that way will never be known.
But no, it wasn't.
No. Yeah, that would have been interesting. Well, then in my mind, I mean, maybe I'm just fucked up. My mind was like, do they impregnate the oracles? Because then there'll be even more, like...
No, it
Is
seems
it that
like...
fucked?
Well, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, they seem to be really obsessed with getting pregnant.
Yes, but maintaining numbers, right? It was like a new life.
Yeah.
A death for a new life.
Yeah, every pregnancy you have to kill someone off, and et cetera, et cetera.
I guess part of the problem for me with this that didn't make it scary for me or whatever was that it was just like there was far too much behavior that was dictated off of like politeness and peer pressure.
Well, I like that as an idea if that's what you're telling me.
Sure.
But they just seemed like idiots. And I think part of that is because you don't care about them.
Right.
There's something very sad and creepy and interesting, particularly about women being so polite that they're putting themselves in danger.
Well, and like her first...
That's real.
Her first mushroom tea trip in the field, very much that.
Yeah.
Where I was just like, no, girl, don't do this just because everyone else, like all of his asshole friends want you to, like, fuck them.
Yeah.
But then later on, when he takes he's like, you know what, no, I actually don't want the tea. And she's like, no, it'll be great.
Yeah, you should definitely just drink it.
I felt like everyone in this movie needed to learn from XXX on how to...
Just have a drinking problem.
Oh, I spilled it. It's fine. What was his
Their
deal?
behavior at a certain point was like,
Yeah.
and that I guess you could say, oh, well, they were like so hopped up on all these drugs and they were building in their systems and but that didn't really get expressed either.
I also don't think it works like that.
Well, if you're in this sort of state of,
Sure.
I've never quite sobered.
Sure, maybe.
Can we talk about her pants?
Oh my god, awful. All of her clothes.
And her
just
shorts? I mean, the whole movie category was stretched out t-shirt.
Awful.
All of them.
Yeah.
Had weird necklines.
I was like,
and
thank God she changed into
weird-
these white robes.
Loved it. Yeah. All of these, she had like camel toe and loose shorts.
Oh my god, yes. You've achieved it.
The impossible.
So he takes the I mean, I assumed it was just basically like mushrooms, like some sort of
we never
psychedelic
knew.
agent.
They were taking a lot of things and given certain things, and that did this and that did this.
That's
so I
true.
never really knew, but
That's
it seemed
fair.
like it was.
Well,
something.
his seemed worse this time. It was like especially made for him.
Right.
So that he would go fuck the sister.
Right.
I guess we're supposed to believe that he secretly wanted it.
I don't think he wanted it.
But he didn't.
He didn't not.
He went to go do it. It was like, oh, I guess I'm supposed to go to this barn and fuck her now.
Malleable at this point. Like they had drugged them and sort
to
of
be like
and
just
sort of just been like pushed him in a direction, you know.
I mean, yeah, his big mistake was really that he
drank the Kool-Aid.
Yes, don't do it.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Just be like, yeah, I'm cool. Oops, spilled it on the ground. Great.
Oh, it was delicious.
Yeah, exactly.
Hot.
And then be like, oh, I'm so high. I'll be back. I gotta go to the bathroom.
May Queen, yeah. It just reminded me of like I'm singing a song.
Really.
It was that, but with like emotions, I guess they all
felt each other's emotions. So when she was so upset and crying because he had slept with somebody else, they were all upset and crying because they're all one. They're all a family. They're all. It's a royal we. It edged over into stupid.
Yeah.
For me, and there
kind
was
of like
things,
Hereditary did for me.
Yeah, but I enjoyed that more.
That one got more stupid with Toni Collette crawling across the ceiling.
Headless
and then,
Toni Collette sawing her own head off and floating into the treehouse. Yeah, it was great.
Whereas this was just kind of like, well, this is.
I think I have a similar sense of humor to this director, where like there was stuff that was just so over the top that was like, this can't be real, like, or this can't be actually scary or supposed to be. Like at a certain point, he just sees.
Right, the foot.
Chidi from Good Place's foot just like planted in the garden. It's just like, oh, there's a foot.
Yeah, there's.
And I was just like, ha! What's happening?
Also, I was like, okay, dude, at this point, there's a truck right there. You get in that truck. And
I guess
you
they
drive
never established
away.
where those keys were. But clearly a car...
had the truck been sitting there the whole time? I didn't notice it until that one scene.
Yeah.
Oh, it
was like there all the time. So they didn't establish where the keys were.
That's
but
fair.
Also, if that car can get to wherever they are, then that means a rental car could have.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, definitely should have. Well, but you know what? I bet you it was the Swedish
sure
friend that had the rental car.
I'm sure the cult was like, no, you can't bring your car.
Well, right, of course.
You can't escape.
Of course, I would have been like, no, I'm taking those keys. I need an escape plan at all times.
I would have liked a scene of... I actually thought the community of women scenes were interesting. You know, like, when we're baking this pie, and they really seemed to welcome her. And I did get this sort of allure of like, we'll be your instant family and whatever. I mean, I did wish they had had a scene where they all braided each other's hair.
Because there was a lot of hair braiding, just not enough. And I would have.
There was a lot of braided hair, but not a lot of braiding of hair.
Correct.
And I was like, oh, I would have, like, a Seven Brides for Seven. And we're all just in our corsets, you know, like...
braiding each other's hair. Let's braid your hair.
Oh, yes, you know? Oh, and, like, show them all making the flower crowns. Like, I want to see it.
Yes.
Show me the flower crowns. And her trippy flower crown that was just like...
Oh my god, that kept, like, dilating?
Stuff like that was cool and weird, and I liked it. Like, the centerpieces being... Like, that was why it was, like... It was like a drug trip.
Yes.
It was a bad one. It was too long. Oh, no, my trip lasted too long. Can we also talk about... that weird ankle brace that girl was wearing in that one shot?
Yeah, what was that? It was like a modern ankle brace.
On some level, I'd like to believe I'm the only person that noticed it, right? That I'm like, that cool,
sure.
Right? That it got past every editor, every producer,
It's the Starbucks
every
cup
director.
of...
It's the Starbucks cup of Game of Thrones, and they just didn't see it, and oh no, it got into the movie. On some level, I'd like to believe that, but this director is so methodical that I was like, okay, it has to be something. We have to address this in some way. It was black and red and stood out. It was just this huge ankle brace, and then it never came up.
No.
I was in the theater, I was just like...
Yeah, it was crazy.
What is that?
I was like, maybe she fell, like when she fell down in the dancing, she hurt her ankle, and...
It just seems so much more likely in this community that it would have been wrapped in like an ancient linen.
Exactly. Sticks and linen. Yeah.
And I made a poultice of, rosemary.
Yeah, like some herbs sticking out. Yeah.
It just made no sense.
If it was a case where, like, on set she hurt herself,
right?
Then
make it a weird bracey.
Wrap the real brace with some, linen and herbs sticking out, and then it's like, fine, whatever.
Can we talk about the fringed fezzes?
Oh my god, yes.
I was obsessed with this.
Weird.
Just, it looked like a mop,
Yeah.
and then but like a
little
half
fez. Yeah.
half fez.
Yeah.
And for the eunuchs
I don't know
that
what.
weren't allowed to see the sex ceremony.
Oh, is that what it was?
I mean, I think he
But
was
then-
like, "Oh, I'll."
But then it seemed like a ceremonial thing because
Because
when
then
they
there was
came
a guy behind him that didn't have it, and he saw all the naked
Mm.
women. But I don't know. Maybe it's like an executioner's mask
Perhaps.
kind of situation.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was interested.
Can we talk about, like, I wonder what this powder was that he blew into the guy's face?
Paralysis powder.
But, like, that lasted for days?
Well, I wanted to know if it was permanent.
Right?
I didn't know.
It seemed like, it was like, oh, now you're paralyzed, but your eyes can move.
I think it was like that thing in What Lies Beneath. That whatever that also might be fake. But where it's just like, I
mean, I guess I don't know how long it
I
was
don't
in
know.
between when they did this
I
to
don't
when
know.
she decides that he should die. But
I mean, I wish it had been more like, bitch, burn,
Sure.
you know? Something.
yeah, because we never see her choose.
We never see her choose. Well, I mean, then it just got wacky. I mean, then you find out, because I was like,
God.
are we still just not talking about this bear? And
Well,
then-
so then they're like dissecting the bear. They're gutting the bear.
right.
And then they put him in the bear.
Literally sew
Body.
him into.
Yes.
No, I thought this could have been way more terrifying.
Sure.
It's sort of, maybe I was just like over it at this point, or it was shot in a way that was uninteresting to me, but it was just like, oh, and then they put him in a bear costume instead of this horrifying sewing of the whatever. They really could have really made
like
it.
as he like
and
if he's sitting there as it's like
as
kind
it's
of
closing in
yeah.
on him, and oh my god, and I still can't move, and all of that. And I actually thought they could have handled his death in a more terrifying way. Basically, all the people that have died throughout are like skinned scarecrows or something.
That was confusing.
And there's
also, what was that about the other guy, Steve or whoever who left
Simon?
in the truck? Simon who left in the
with
truck
with the lungs.
with the lungs that were breathing.
I didn't know what that meant.
No. Why did they fillet him from his back? Like what was?
Because he was gonna talk. I don't know. Because he was gonna blow the whistle. I don't know. So they're all in this barn, the bodies and 2 volunteers, and our main guy is paralyzed, sewn into a bear. I mean, these words are coming out of my mouth.
Right.
They're coming out of my mouth right now. Paralyzed, sewn into the bear suit, but it's sort of like, oh hi, it's like this little face.
It's like
just
a bear, but he literally is wearing it like a bear suit.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like a bear costume.
Like a bear costume.
Yeah.
And it starts to inflame, and I thought they really missed an opportunity to have a shot of him.
And like his eyes.
His eyes and the terror in his eyes as he can't move and he's burning alive within a bear suit.
Yeah.
Cause that's fucked.
Yeah.
But I'm watching it and I was like, oh, they didn't really convey that to me. They didn't dig the knife.
No.
Oh, fuck.
And
that would be fucked.
That was my problem with it. And I guess that's like why earlier when I was like, it never really got fucked. Like, when you write it all down.
You're like, what the like, I'd like to be on the pitch meeting for this.
Exactly.
So then they open up a bear. They've just had a ritualistic pregnancy sex scene with all the elder ladies.
Yep. They paralyze him.
Sew him into a bear. Like on paper, it's insane.
Yeah.
But when you're watching it, at least 2.5 hours in, I was like, in theory, I see why this is crazy, but I'm not affected by it.
It wasn't effective.
Yeah, the opening was more effective with the parents.
Yes,
and
it was more
like,
upsetting.
Oh, whew. And maybe that's just because I was fresh.
There was just something about it where I was like, you could have literally just give me that thing on his eyes where you just.
It would have been so. It's the shot from What Lies Beneath of, oh no, the water's rising and all I can move is my eyes and, you know.
Yeah.
The fire's coming. Oh, it would have been so good.
Yeah. And maybe somewhat of a Hereditary too, but especially in this where I just feel like I wanted the deaths to be more
impactful.
Yeah. Well, whereas like you really see Eyebrows guy go through it, like, you know, where he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get it on with this girl. Oh no, it's horrifying. This was a mistake. Oh my god, I want to get out of here.
Regret.
You want to see them clawing at an escape and then not have it, and that's like awful. Yeah. But at least then that's something.
Exactly.
Instead, this was just kind of like, well, yeah, they got stuck there, and that sucks.
Well, it's like because in Hereditary, I really cared about Toni Collette. I cared about Gabriel Byrne. That speech she gives when she's like, "You have to kill me." Yeah. Because I'm insane and I love you and like that's so powerful and amazing. And in this, I was like, I don't care
about any of
if you die. I mean, I do kind of, but not really.
And at least I wanted to be able to feel the fear.
Yeah.
I never felt the fear.
No, I did want to know. What if you're gay?
Sure.
In this commune.
They sacrifice you immediately.
Oh.
I don't know.
I mean, I didn't know because I was like, oh, because it seemed like the whole point of the cult is to life and procreate and like
Sure.
all of that, but then at the same time it's like, well, everyone raises the kids together,
Right, that's true.
So you could be gay and just not have I guess you could just fuck, but then still be just be like,
it doesn't seem like anyone like had sex for pleasure. It was purely like a
cycle of life,
or maybe they're mated, like maybe some of them in the village actually are like husband,
but then
wife,
they all
mates.
live in the same big open mess hall with a crying fucking baby the whole time, and they're just like,
oh my God,
no privacy.
Right. Well, that was like the eyebrows guy was like, "Where's anyone jerk off?" And I was like, "I don't think they do."
But yes, so she has to pick between random guy and her boyfriend. Now this is what I was like, well, is he paralyzed for life? Is he like just? I guess not. But I would have asked if I was her. But like, well, is he condemned to living a life where only his eyes move and
we have to slap him around and good question.
I mean, I also don't want to choose. Don't make me pick. I don't need that responsibility really at all.
Just because I danced the longest.
If I'm getting all the information, at least I have an informed decision.
Sure.
So she picks her ex out of revenge to be sewn into a bear suit and burned alive.
Yep.
And then she's walking around with this flower crown and I mean, it was fabulous. This
like flower,
maleficent flower girl. I was like, yes. Could the movie start here?
Right.
What's going on?
Oh my God, if the movie started there.
It started with the man in the bear outfit, just like, and they're all burning in these weird scarecrow skinned bodies, and the two volunteers just burning alive, and then she's walking in her like flower gown. I would have been like, what? This is the best. What? This is just crazy.
Crazy.
Would have been good. And then she just smiles like,
oh my God, you're right.
Yes, I made the right choice. This is my family now.
Well, right. She's just looking around at all of them like, yes, this is my place.
I will always dance the longest.
Oh my God, right? I don't even know.
I do enjoy watching these kind of movies, specifically in the theater, because I really enjoy watching the audience get uncomfortable.
Oh my God, yes.
That's one of my favorite things. Just like, oh no, people walked out of this movie.
Very close to the end.
Pretty close to the end. Some crazy shit had already happened. Probably the worst of it had already happened. People's like gasped and like, oh God. And one of the guys, after something crazy happened, just goes, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
And it's always good to go on a matinee, right?
Oh my God,
Because then you get the elderly people that have wandered in and they don't know what they're seeing.
Oh my God.
Like,
one of the people from the theater in the bathroom after the movie, he's talking to his friends. He's like, well, I turned 72 on Sunday. Right?
Guess you're going to have to jump off a cliff.
Oh my God.
That was crazy.
Crazy.
But see, that was handled so coldly, so like, well, this is just what we do. Like, it wasn't shot in a dramatic way or played out in a dramatic way. And that's terrifying, right? That they're just blissfully jumping off this cliff. But then had the other deaths been different.
Exactly.
But all of the deaths were sort of like either off camera or like, this is happening. Yeah, because then Chidi from Good Place has researched this and he knows all about the culture and he reads the language and he's all informed. And the Swedish guy is like, oh, we've got the insert Swedish word here.
This tradition is called Atestupa.
And Chidi gives him a look like, what? Like,
oh, right. And he tries to Google it and there's no service.
There's no service. And they're like, well, what is it? And the Swedish guy's like, I don't know how to explain it. You'll just have to live it and experience it. And then they ask.
So you think Chidi knew?
Yeah. I think he didn't know if they were going to go through with it, but in theory he knew what was happening because during the ceremony he was swaying back like nervously, like, are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? Like he was like really reacting, like he was anticipating it before everyone else.
I mean, it's also like I just felt like that would be your like.
Oh, they're up on this cliff.
Oh, here are these 72-year-olds up on this cliff where there's like where there's
blood all over the rock. Did you see that on the previous blood? Like, it was so violent, I laughed, which is, my thing. But they, just dive bomb. Her face explodes. Then his face explodes. They're just like zooming in on all this stuff. And I was just like, this is so insane. And then they're just like grilling them up on this.
Oh my God, right?
And here's the bodies or whatever. And something about it was so insane that
it was like so almost insensitive to it that you were just like, well, this is absurd.
And it's in broad daylight, so you're just like,
like, he's very good at creating a mood and visuals and all of that.
He's very talented.
And in every aspect from the trailer, like, that was what I was hoping for, of like the midsummerness.
I do wish they had sort of played with the idea of insomnia and it's always daytime and what's daytime, what's nighttime, and what
Right, when is now, what
more
is time.
sort of like confusion, and,
Yes.
and that's why we stayed in a way, or something that, making that more of a reality. That would have been interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave tomorrow. Oh, well, it's 1 a.m. What are you talking about?
The trains don't run at 1 a.m.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean, it was definitely interesting and well made, and had a lot of point, and I'm excited that he's making movies, and I'm excited that someone's making fucked up weird movies, and
And very
all
artistic.
of the above,
I will say that.
artistic and all of the above. I didn't enjoy watching it.
No.
But it had its validity.
Sure. It was too long.
Cheers.
Skål.
Skål!
Cheers to Toni Collette.
Always.